Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. Officials report that a man charged in connection with the Hazleton shooting is also awaiting trial on drug charges. According to police, Jose Sandoval Perez was arrested following a shooting on Sunday, May 25th at the Sazon Latino Restaurant 2 located at the corner of 20th and Alter Streets in Hazleton. During the shooting, police say one man was found unresponsive and later pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. A second man was found sitting on the floor with multiple gunshot wounds. Following an investigation, Hazleton police identified Sandoval Perez as the alleged shooter. Additional details reveal that Sandoval Perez has also been charged with conspiracy to manufacture, deliver, or possess drugs and criminal use of a communication device following an investigation in February in which police found over 100 baggies of cocaine, 11 grams of cocaine, 6 pills believed to be fentanyl, a firearm, and $500 in cash. In connection with the shooting, Sandoval Perez has been charged with theft of a firearm, recklessly endangering another person, and firearms not to be carried without a license. He is currently behind bars with denied bail. A new mayor for Weatherly Borough has not yet been selected. The Weatherly Borough Council accepted the resignation of former Mayor Paul Hadzix on April 28th after 4 borough employees made allegations of sexual harassment. In a statement on April 29th, borough officials said the allegations were investigated by an independent and impartial law firm. The results were presented to the Borough Council during an executive session on April 28th. The identities of the 4 complainants have not yet been released, and the results of the investigation are confidential. However, officials say no allegations of sexual abuse have been made. During the Weatherly Borough Council meeting on Tuesday, May 28th, the council deliberated privately for about an hour but did not come to a decision regarding who would fill the vacant position for mayor. This is a developing story. Stay tuned on WYLN News for updates. The Luzerne County Council voted on Tuesday to purchase the historic former train station in Wilkes-Barre for $615,000. The county has been leasing a portion of the train station since 2022 to house the county's tourism office, Visit Luzerne County. Luzerne County Manager Imelda Crocomo said the decision to purchase the building was made due to its convenient location and historic value to the area.
Those of the viewers who are my age probably remember dancing at the train station. It's the home of our Visitors Bureau. It is the perfect home for our Visitors Bureau. It represents a history of the rails in Luzerne County. We need to make sure that that is kept.
The train station dates back to 1868 and was used for passenger services until 1963. The station closed in 1972 and was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. During the 80s and 90s, the train station also housed a nightclub and restaurant before standing vacant for about 15 years. Crocomo said the purchase will be made with available funds and will not require a loan.
Also, it's not coming out of the general fund. It's not coming out of the taxpayers' monies. We're using interest money in accounts. So this is really something that's going to be positive, not only for Wilkes-Barre, but for the entire county.
The historic train station is located at 200 Old Train Station Road in Wilkes-Barre. Coming up on WYLN News, Fairway Subaru donates $20,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Plus, the Hazleton Art League invites the public to their Art Youth Expo. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by Lehigh Valley Health Network and Jefferson Health. Investing in your well-being and building healthier communities because more expertise and convenient care mean better outcomes and a healthier you. Learn more at lvhn.org/Jefferson.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and get your umbrellas out because tomorrow's WYLN forecast is rain.
want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969.
Something is out there. What it is, no one knows. However, since its first sighting, there have been numerous reports of strange lights in the night sky. Some say they are extraterrestrials, flying saucers. But to all of those seemingly unrelated uncertainties, there is one common thread.
Solo Spaceman. Watch Solo Spaceman on WYLN Thursdays at 1:30, Saturdays at 7, and Sundays at 4:30.
Welcome back to WYLN News. A man is wanted by the Carbon County Sheriff's Office. Brian Geyer is wanted on DUI charges. He is known to have ties to the Weatherly area. Anyone with information regarding his whereabouts is asked to contact the Carbon County Sheriff's Office at 570-325-2821. The Hazleton Art League is inviting the public to take part in their 14th annual Art Youth Expo this weekend. The annual event is a celebration of young emerging artists and is open to the public. The two-day festival will kick off on Friday, May 30th, with a gallery opening from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., followed by an open mic night at the Penn State Hazleton Launch Box. On Saturday, the excitement will continue with performances, games, and family-friendly attractions such as interactive art activities, food trucks, and live music. Work created by young regional artists will also be on display the entire weekend at the Hayden Family Center for the Arts. For additional information regarding the event, you can visit hazletonartleague.org. Fairway Subaru in Hazleton recently presented a check for over $20,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. The donation was part of the 2024 Subaru Share the Love event. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is a nonprofit organization that helps to fulfill the wishes of seriously ill children. The Greater Pennsylvania and West Virginia chapter has fulfilled more than 21,000 wishes. Since 2012, Fairway Subaru has donated more than $160,000. The donations have helped to fulfill over 30 wishes granted to children in the greater Hazleton area. This year's donation will help fulfill the wishes of 4 additional local children. To learn more about the Make-A-Wish Foundation, you can visit their website at wish.org/greaterpawv. Coming up on Tamaqua's News Choice, we learn about preventative care on this week's Wellness Wednesday. Plus, Chris Foam releases down the path through history with Benton Part 3. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
Lehigh Valley Health Network is now proudly part of Jefferson Health. And when two healthcare leaders come together for the community, you can expect more. More locations, more clinical trials, more breakthrough treatments. Jefferson Health and Lehigh Valley Health Network. Together for the future of care.
Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on Wyln TV 35.
Wyln TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Are you sitting at home living in pain? Maybe it's in your hands, maybe your back or your hips. The good news is you don't need to live in pain. Why? Because there is Omega XL, a one-of-a-kind, natural, powerful joint relief supplement created from the green lip mussels of New Zealand. Drug-free, non-habit forming. It's small, easy to swallow, and it's backed by more than 40 years of clinical research. As I was getting older, my joints started to feel that wear and tear. But then I tried Omega XL and it changed my life. If you're experiencing daily aches and pains due to aging and overuse, try Omega XL and see the difference it can make in your life.
Buy one, get two free. 2 bottles of Omega XL plus Vitamin XL D3, a value of more than $85. Call today and you pay only $39.95. Plus, you have nothing to lose because it's backed by our 60-day money-back guarantee. Call now.
This week's show, Let's Talk Chiropractic, is exciting. Anna overcame the language barrier. She learned how to speak English. She had a car accident. She came for a chiropractor, and through proper communication, I'm gentle, and she got great results. So check in on the show.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and have you been taking care of your health? Seriously, do you go to the doctor at least once a year to get a checkup? Do you get the screenings that you're supposed to get? Or maybe you're not sure what you're supposed to do. Well, I am here with my good friend Erin Zarowski, who is a physician assistant here at LVPG Family Medicine in Hometown, which is on Claremont Avenue / Route 309 in Hometown. Welcome, Erin.
Yes, happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
So Erin's going to share with us some preventative health care tips. So let's start. What should we be doing to make sure that we take the best care of our bodies?
Yeah, so certainly being in family medicine, there's a lot of preventative health measures that we recommend. So for most individuals, children and adults, we recommend at least annual physicals. So at that visit, we're able to talk about preventative care, whether that's routine blood work, whether that's diet, exercise, or cancer screenings. So those are going to be really the main things that we talk about at that point.
So who is the most difficult people to convince to get these done, men or women? I'm just wondering.
You know, I can't say that there's even a difference between men and women with who is more or less likely to get these screenings done, because it really is all about individual preference. And sometimes it's about education too. Sometimes there's stigmas, I think, about some of these screenings. I think the biggest reason individuals state that they don't want a cancer screen is because they don't want to know. And I try to educate individuals in a way that really promotes preventative care for a number of reasons. But the main reason is that the earlier we can detect something, the more successful we are at treating it. So I understand the reason why an individual wouldn't want to know something scary like a cancer diagnosis. But if we can detect these things early, we have such great treatment options, and that's going to really promote longevity and just a healthy life in general. So that's why I really promote these.
Yeah, and I was kind of teasing a little bit because as a wife, I have to coerce my husband to make sure he gets his things done. So not going against any men or anything, but just teasing a little bit. But it's great to know. So let's talk about the screenings that we should be getting and when should we be getting them?
Yeah, so we think about, there's certainly some that are strictly screening in men, some strictly in women, and then there's for both men and women. So we think about colon cancer screening being one of the most important ones. So generally speaking, we are now doing colon cancer screening at age 45. Historically, it was always age 50. Certainly there's caveats. If individuals have family history, we might be doing it sooner. But generally age 45 now, and that could be through a colonoscopy, more traditionally, or through a Cologuard, which is a stool sample. So that is something you could talk to your healthcare provider about. If there's a reason why maybe you're hesitant to doing a colonoscopy, Cologuard's a good option. In women, we think of breast cancer screening, cervical cancer screening. So mammograms, generally speaking, we're doing annually. There was at one point biannually a recommendation, but now it's mostly annual. And for cervical cancer screening is mostly women ages 21 to 65, and the frequency could vary anywhere between 3 and 5 years. In men, we think about prostate cancer screening, generally over age 50, which is more traditionally done through either a digital rectal exam and a blood test, but most individuals can get a PSA, which is a very effective blood test to detect prostate cancer. So those are going to be really a lot of our screenings, our common screenings in men and women.
So I think the first stop would be at least come to a provider such as yourself, get an exam, sit down, have the conversation, right? Exactly. I'm sure you talk to your patients, especially when they're a new patient, you take the time to discover where they have been in their health journey up to this point and where you could guide them into where they really should be to maintain their health. No one wants to get that diagnosis, if they could prevent it or get it early enough where it's treatable, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really a great time for the annual exam, the annual physical. So that's a great time to come in. We could talk about the health maintenance, we could talk about immunization status, we can talk about lab studies if appropriate, any other concerns at that point. But really an annual exam is a great time to talk about that. So something we encourage for everyone.
Right, and especially like if you decide to get some blood work for someone, then at least you have that measurement from now until the next time to be able to see what's going on with someone.
Sure, and even with, we think about screening for diabetes or high cholesterol. These are things that we screen for in the blood, so definitely also very important when it comes to routine health maintenance.
So if you're looking for a provider, we have Erin here at Hometown, who is a wonderful physician. I hear so many wonderful things about you from a lot of people in the community, so I thank you for that first and foremost. And this is a lot of great information again. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching Wellness Wednesday.
Thank you.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond Contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Hey, did you know Wyln posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Hello, I'm Wyln historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
My name is Alexander Bonoma. I'm 12 years old, and get your umbrellas out because tomorrow's WYLN forecast is rain.
A Path Through History is sponsored by the Old Jail Museum, 128 West Broad Street in Jim Thorpe. Call 570-325-5259 or visit them online at theoldjailmuseum.com.
At the turn of the 20th century, Benton was prospering for a town of its size. The Benton Argus newspaper was founded in 1889 and would continue publication until October 30th, 1969. Benton High School had been founded in 1896, and numerous profitable businesses such as the Long Wagon Works, Benton Shirt Factory, and R.T. Smith Planing Mill operate downtown. The Roar McHenry Whiskey Distillery, however, remained the heart of the community. At this time, it was led by Roar McHenry's younger son, John Geyser McHenry, who had been born on April 26, 1868. The younger McHenry, in addition to running the family distillery, would branch out into other businesses as well. A farmer on the side, he planted 30,000 peach trees on his pioneer farms, with the intention of adding peach brandy to the distillery's line of merchandise. Banking also interested McHenry, and he was the founder of several Grange banks throughout Pennsylvania. And in his later years, he became interested in politics as well, being elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1906. While in Washington, McHenry served on the House Appropriations Committee and was a champion of agricultural interests, once introducing a bill calling for an agricultural scientist to be appointed in every district where farming was the primary industry. John Geyser McHenry died at the end of his third term in 1912. The 4th of July, 1910, dawned bright and warm in Benton. The town looked forward to a day of celebrating America's independence with a baseball doubleheader with Bloomsburg. After Benton's team won the first game in their town, they took the train south to Bloomsburg for the second game. Other Bentonians celebrate by picnicking in Grassmere Park or traveling 12 miles to nearby Millville to celebrate there. While they enjoyed the holiday, several boys were playing with firecrackers on Center Street near a blacksmith shop owned by George Crossley. One of the firecrackers managed to ignite the hay in a barn behind the shop. The blaze was noted by Councilman Clyde Hurleman, who lived nearby. He quickly ran to Borough Hall and rang the town fire bell. By the time he returned, however, the fire consumed multiple barns and was rapidly spreading out of control, abet by a strong north wind and countless wooden shingles on the roofs of all the buildings in its path. Worse, Benton's fire department at that time had only one old-fashioned hand-pump fire wagon, which was barely in working order, and a chemical engine, which was useless against such a fast-spreading fire. Nor did it have a water system, as efforts to install one 4 years prior had been stopped by a court injunction out of fear it would lead to higher taxes. So before long, much of Benton was burning. An SOS went out to other communities in Columbia County before the telegraph office itself burned down. Down in Bloomsburg, once where the fire reached authorities there, officials loaded up a Bloomsburg and Sullivan train with a steam pump and hand car and sped north as fast as it could with a company of volunteer firefighters. Unfortunately, they could do no good in fighting the fire when they arrived in Benton, for Fishing Creek was low with lack of rain the weeks before the 4th of July, and the pumper instead sucked up sand and gravel from the creek when used, eventually breaking down. Nor could town residents and volunteers that raced to Benton from Millville, once word reached there, could do anything. Benton lay in ruins. Among the losses were 48 barns, 38 houses, the Exchange Hotel, a department store, and the Columbia County National Bank apart from its vault. In the aftermath of the Great Benton Fire, the town would receive aid from the surrounding area. Berwick and Bloomsburg each held town meetings that pledged relief money to Benton, while Danville held a benefit baseball game, with the proceeds to be donated to rebuilding the community. And Benton would be rebuilt eventually better than ever. In 1915, a dam was built outside town to hold enough water to fight another fire of the magnitude of the 1910 blaze, to guarantee the disaster would never happen again. Benton would still, however, have to deal with crippling fires in the years following 1910, and it would be less than a year later that another blaze struck at the very heart of the community. In March 1911, a fire broke out inside the Roarer McHenry Distillery's supposedly fireproof bond house, where the whiskey was stored until it was properly aged. The 10-story building would be effectively destroyed by the flames. Of the 17,000 barrels of whiskey that were being stored inside the bond house at the time of the fire, only 1 barrel could be saved in the end. While most of the rest of the distillery escaped damage, and the company tried to carry on after the blaze, the financial blow from losing that much good whiskey would prove too much for Roarer McHenry, which would file for bankruptcy in 1912. The surviving distillery buildings would be preserved as a museum, although in 1962, another fire that broke out in the former boiler house would destroy the rest of the complex. As Benton benefited from the kindness of their neighboring communities to rebuild after the 1910 fire, one of their own was making his own difference halfway around the world. Frank Laubach had been born in Benton in 1884. He graduated from what was then Bloomsburg Normal School in 1901, and then with a higher degree from Princeton in 1909, where he received the McLean Prize from then Princeton President Woodrow Wilson. A final degree came from Columbia University in 1915. That year, Laubach and his wife, the former Effa Seeley, joined the American Board of Commissioners for Foreign Missions and sailed to the Philippines to work as missionaries. Laubach felt a strong connection to the country, as Effa's cousin Harry Edwards had married a woman from the Philippines, and he would spend the next 15 years as a missionary there. He worked primarily with the Philippines' Moro population, who traditionally practiced Islam and were strongly resistant to conversion. Laubach did his best to reach out to the Moros, and while he was doing so, he realized they did not have a written language. He transcribed the 16 sounds of the Moro dialect into Roman letters and used them to translate nearly 1,300 words into the local Maranao language. He then further realized that these translations could be used to teach the Moros to read their own language. His method of phonetically combining letters and pictures into charts proved successful, and in 1935 Laubach began teaching literacy in other countries. Over the next 40 years, he would create literacy systems for 312 languages in over 100 countries. He would use what he calls the Each One Teach One system to spread literacy, in which each adult that had learned to read would then take the time to reach others to read as well. When Laubach retired in 1955, he continued his work through Laubach Literacy International, the World Literacy Committee, and others. Frank Laubach died in 1970 and today rests in Benton Cemetery. His efforts are believed to have taught over 60 million people worldwide how to read. For his efforts, Frank Laubach received a postage stamp in 1984, to date the only American missionary to have this honor.
My name is Alexander Bonomo. I'm 12 years old, and get your umbrellas out because tomorrow's Wyln forecast is rain.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.